everybody. This is Ilah Renzi, Subconsciously Speaking, and this is another episode. I've not done a few episodes lately in the last couple of months. I have, back at the beginning of August, I lost my husband, and he'd been sick for a while, so I put my podcast on hold to help him. I'm back, and things are a little bit different. I'm still doing Subconsciously Speaking, and I think this is episode 9, I think. Anyway, well, nonetheless, they'll be episode numbered correctly. But today is going to be a little bit of a different type of Subconsciously Speaking. Today, it's going to be about grief, something I kind of have some firsthand experience. First, I'm going to define grief, and I asked AI, give me a nice definition of what grief is, and I loved this one. Grief is the natural, emotional, physical, and psychological response to loss. It is the process by which we adapt to the absence of something or someone deeply meaningful. While often associated with death, grief also arises from other forms of loss, such as the end of relationships, a change of identity, a move, or fading of a dream. At its core, grief is love with nowhere to go. It is the energy of attachment seeking a place to land after the object of that attachment is no longer within reach. It touches every level of our being, thoughts, body, emotion, spirit, and unfolds in waves, not stages. Grief does not follow a timetable, it reshapes. It reshapes who we are and how we see the world, teaching us about love, impermanence, and resilience. Somebody said that grief is love persevering. And I love that statement, still trying to define it for myself. Today in Subconsciously Speaking, grief and the space it leaves behind. In today's episode is one I never expected to ever have to record, or at least in this manner. And I'm dedicating this to my husband. Grief. He was the most amazing man with the most amazing character. Truly a diamond in the rough. Now you see why I had to write it out. I've been writing this for days. Okay, I'm going to get better. People were drawn to him, not because of his humor or his strength, but because of his kindness. His kindness here on earth continues to show itself even after its passing, through the people he touched, the stories they share, and the quiet love that remains. He put others before himself always. We laughed, we cried, we loved. He was my best friend. We were two hassle-free people towards each other. Something rare and precious I hold. Today I dedicate this podcast to his memory. Grief is the topic. I won't cry through the whole thing, I promise. I'm trying not to. And next week we have a part 2 as well. And this time, I speak from a very fresh, first-hand experience. As of this recording, it's been 58 days since his passing. It is definitely an unwanted experience, but real nonetheless. I once heard someone say, wouldn't it be nice if all widows could walk around with a W on their forehead so we could find each other? Because until you woke up the next morning after your life partner has passed, you truly don't understand. And the only thing worse than that would be the loss of a child. I can't imagine. We're not going to talk about that one. Maybe at some point I'll have someone who is an expert in that to talk about that. But today's episode is about the grief of a widow or a widower. The grief is coming home to silence where laughter used to live. When I look back on the days leading up to his passing, I often think, I wish I knew then what I know now. Wouldn't it be something if grief came with a roadmap? But what I've learned is that every person's grief is different, and this has just been in the past 2 months. Similar threads, of course, but the patterns are all our own. And as fate would have it, a dear friend of mine lost her husband the very next day after I lost mine. We didn't ask for this shared experience, but it's become a lifeline, and we check in with each other daily. And we'll ask each other, do you feel this, or have you noticed that? Little things. And those are shared comforts that we have to know that, okay, I'm not alone in this aspect. It's comforting to know someone else out there, she gets it. We both have grown kids, so no one's at home, so the quiet can feel a little too loud sometimes. The day Michael passed, I put 15 pictures of him on my phone's lock screen, so every time I opened it, I'd see another picture. And every time I did that, I cried every time I saw him. So I changed the pictures to myself, thinking that would work, and that didn't work either. So now my lock screen is of my first firearm that he helped me. He actually won it and gave it to me. It's pretty, so I don't mind looking at it, and it doesn't make me cry. My friend, who lost her husband the day after, she loves to post pictures of her and her husband every day. And I absolutely applaud her for that. It helps her heal. But for me, seeing photos brings a deep ache. So I refrain from that for now. So yes, grief is personal and it looks different for everybody. So my goal is to one day look at those same pictures of my husband with a smile, to feel love instead of a loss. And just a few days ago, I was talking to my husband's sister, and I was showing her some of the goofy pictures of him, and we laughed. And it was later I realized maybe that's healing beginning. Maybe the raw wound is starting to form a little callus. That the kind of still feels but protects. Grief comes in waves. Tears that come out of nowhere, like just now. I had no intention. I thought had already, guarded myself, but of course, tears just come. For me, the nights are hardest. I keep myself busy during the day, and sometimes too busy. And lately, I've been starting to crave a day off from busy. I've had so many people come through the house offering help, comfort, and kindness, and I'm grateful, truly grateful. I can't imagine going through this alone. Sometimes I think about what Mike would be doing if things were reversed. I know he'd get up every day. He might be sad, but he'd still get up. He'd still do life, and he'd still move forward. I hold close the verse from Job that says, "He setteth an end to darkness." I just learned that this past weekend. He setteth an end to darkness. Just that one line, that means God has an end to the darkness. That doesn't mean my grief will 100% be gone. I don't expect that. Just figure it'll be a little bit easier. It also continues, he searcheth out the perfection, the stones of darkness and the shadow of death. So he sets an end to darkness. I want that on a t-shirt. But now I want to introduce you to my producer, Vanessa. And when I met her a little over a year ago, I learned that she was also a widow. And here's the interesting twist of fate. She too had only been married 4 months when she lost her husband. I met Michael in September of 2020, and he died August in 2025. We got married in March of this year also, so we were married 4 months. He passed. Vanessa and I share a rare, painful common ground. My friend who lost her husband the day after mine she'd been married 41 years. Proof again that grief wears many faces. My friend's grief of 41 years has many layers. I cannot even imagine those layers. So now Vanessa and I are going to interview each other, 2 widows, 2 timelines, 2 stories. And come on in, Miss Vanessa. She gets to be on camera with me. And then we're going to go have spaghetti.
Yeah. Thank you so much for bringing me on with you, Ilah.
Thank you. So let me start. Like, what was the first moment you realized I'm a widow? Well, first of all, before we do, tell your story. I want you to tell what's going on.
So it's actually not something I talk about often. Mm-hmm. I've only mentioned it to a few people.
Now it's
really
going out there.
in my life since it's happened, and so now it's going to be out there, which is totally fine. It's a process, a grieving process. Mm-hmm. So I do appreciate you bringing me on with you to talk about this, because it's one thing that I've learned probably recently is I really don't think I took the grieving process serious enough. it was actually really wild. You know, when it happened, how it happened, and all of that. We were married in January, and he passed in May. So it was that 4 month span.
How long ago?
This was 2009.
So it's been a minute.
This was about maybe 15 or so years ago.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
And it's just popping up.
Yeah.
So even something that happened so long ago, there was something that happened that really took me back to that exact time and place. And it's actually been causing some things. So this is like a perfect moment. Yeah. It's for the healing process, for my healing process.
Right.
Because like I said, I don't talk about this to people. This isn't something that I bring up really to anyone in any type of conversation.
Right.
Because I mean, why would that be
something? If it comes up, fine, I'm a widow, done, go on. Right?
Yeah. But really that type of conversation really doesn't
You gotta play the widow card, girl, you miss it out. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, so with you asking what was the first moment that I realized that I'm a widow, because of the situation I mentioned, it was weird. It was weird. It was an Army situation.
Your husband was in the service.
My husband was in the Army. We were married in Korea. So it was no type of anything. We were going to be coming back to the States and have a wedding. His family didn't even know we were married yet. So that became a huge situation. But the moment I realized, wow, I'm a widow, is because we were going to have a wedding when he came back to the States. You know, I had on my shopping lists and everything were wedding things.
Right.
And then I had to go and look for a black veil. I guess that was my only playing the widow card. I really did.
Wore the black veil.
I really did. I was, and I think that was a part of the situation being so weird because of them not knowing we were married, his family. So it became a weird thing, and so I was looking for that, and in looking for that was all of my wedding items that I had to look at. And so going from shopping for wedding items to shopping for the funeral, and so that I think was the first moment I realized, okay, this is real life here. Yeah, this is a different from the plans that we were making.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I was at the hospital, and I remember that day thinking, I am preparing to become a widow. I don't understand why God would want me to be a widow now.
Yeah.
So I'm a divorced widow. I was divorced before. What surprised you the most about your grief? Something you didn't expect?
I think that because I don't deal with my emotions like maybe I should. Well, back then I know for sure. Right now I try to deal with my emotions and respect my emotions and process them. But I think that I just went right into just pretending like everything was okay. I did a little bit of bereavement counseling, but really a very, very little bit. And then I think I just locked everything away.
Until recently.
Until literally recently.
Wow.
Yeah.
About that. I'm glad I could help.
Yeah.
And how has your definition of strength changed?
I think I mean I don't even know what has come from that, the strength that comes from that, the I mean, don't put all your eggs in one basket. The lessons that I learned personally. I was going to be moving to Texas. We were moving. I quit my job. I sold my house. I sold my car, and we were literally within the next couple of months. He was going to be done from Korea, and we were moving to the base, and we were going to be living in Texas. And so it really was just like, I think I went on more of like a survival. Yeah. Like a survival mode. Like I'm going to make sure that no matter what happens or comes my way, I'm going to be on top of everything. I'm not going to allow myself to fall. I'm never going to. You
had children too.
I had one at the time.
Right.
Yes, I had. He was 3.
Okay, so
Yeah,
you still
he
had
was
you had
3.
mother going right into this too.
Mom was already mom.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
so
were
mom mode was even more now, because now this family that was getting ready to move is now
Stuck.
just me and my son, and we're still in my grandparents' house because we were transitioning. We
Right.
sold my house we're going to stay with grandma for a couple of months. Well, you know, he comes and we
right.
transfer and all the stuff, and it just kind of was, okay, well, now what?
Exactly.
And so it was.
Your strength was just getting and
My
survival.
strength was survival mode. Was
Yeah, I
survival
know that
mode
feeling.
as a mom
Yeah.
and as a person who, I mean, I don't want to say I don't want to depend on anybody. I don't want to say it's like turned me into a anger mode.
No.
But it's like a,
you became more independent than ever before.
And I always was,
Right.
but I think at this moment I kind of put that down and was like, okay, married life, okay, let's do that. I'll sit at home on an army base and, you know, take care of the kid. I'll try that. And then now it's like, never again will I ever put my guard down. Never again will I ever not, you know, have everything set up for life, for just in case, for my family, for my kids, and for everything.
Exactly.
And I think that's that strength that I got from it is I now I take care of so many people, and I stress out so much about making sure that no matter what, they're always going to be taken care of. And I literally just put that together right now as I'm speaking.
Wow.
Yeah.
How about that? You're going to be pontificating on that one for a while.
Wow. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Okay, you need a Kleenex.
Yeah.
When did you first feel the flicker of joy or laughter again, and what brought it, do you think?
You know what? I think that part of, I mean, it took a while to get past, is it okay?
Yeah. Isn't there like a sense of, if I'm going to be happy, do I betray what I had?
Yeah.
That's huge, people.
Yeah.
It's okay to continue. And I know Michael, he and I talked about it a lot, about it's okay to continue life and be happy,
Mm-hmm.
and still you're not losing what you had.
Yeah.
You know what triggers you, etc. And I knew what triggered me. I didn't know at first that pictures of him were gonna continually, like for a week, I just kept crying. I'm like, okay, it's these pictures. I love looking at his pictures, but they would make me sad. So little things. But yeah, it's that visiting with my sister-in-law the other day and just going over some of these goofy pictures she's like, she loved that. She never got to see that side of him so much. So we did laugh.
Yeah.
But it's been 2 months, and so.
And you got a little spark
Got a little, but it's like I didn't feel the betrayed. I didn't feel that.
You didn't feel bad for being happy.
Yeah.
In that moment.
Yeah, and I think your lost loved one. We hear this said often. They want you to be happy.
Yes, they don't want to look down on you crying and being sad,
and they know that there's some, when they're a little tear, okay, now you can shed a little bit for sure.
Be sad a little.
And how does healing look for you now? Now that you're kind of putting pieces brand new together.
I think acceptance. I think realizing that it is what it is what it is, and it's part of my journey. And if that didn't happen, then this wouldn't have happened. And if you know what I mean. And sometimes we don't understand why we go through the things that we go through.
Right.
And it's so tough during the stages of not knowing why we're being put through this. You said, why does God want me to be a widow right now?
Right now.
I said the same things. But everything that I've gone through in my life up until now, why on top of that I have to be a 26-year-old widow?
Right.
You know? So I was asking the same questions.
It's like, why now? Why couldn't we have our 5 year or 10 years or whatever?
Yeah.
Why couldn't we have that?
Yeah, our moments.
You know, or my friend, 41 years. Yeah. I don't know, it would have been 100, but I would have taken it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
How do you honor your husband's memory without staying stuck in the pain?
So I think that anytime, I think anytime something comes up, like a memory or something that reminds me, especially right now with what I've been going through with that. I had a really, really big trigger that took me back to that moment where I just pictured the moment of him passing, and I haven't been able to get that out of my mind from replaying over and over.
We'll work on that one.
Yeah.
Honey.
So that's one of the things that you can help with
yes.
with this hypnosis. Is the whole point of your
Hypnotherapy
show is to show people how the
this will work,
hypnotherapy
and we'll get
helps.
to that just in a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's moments like
Yeah.
that, and because that's coming up, it's bringing up other stuff, and then it's this whole thing.
Crazy.
It's just this whole thing how our mind works.
And understanding you can't escape grief.
Yeah.
You can pill it, put a pill down,
And I think that's what I've been
and
doing.
you can mask it, but the grief is still got to process.
Yeah.
So I have a huge amount of people out there who I've already said, whenever you're ready, they'll help me. You know, my hypnotherapist friends, colleagues, my psychology friends. I mean, I have a large team of people that are ready to help me. And I want to go to them like the day after. But I know, just because of the job that I get to do, I could have gone to them, I would have cried, we could have done a little hypnosis, but it wouldn't have changed the grief process. So grief
you
is,
have to go through the
you've
process.
got to go through a process, and there is no manual roadmap. It comes in waves, and it goes and it comes. And I could be, I'm really blessed that I'm guarded when I have a client. I think at the very beginning, coming back into work, there were 2 clients I got a little teary-eyed with, but they were very understanding. But yeah, you've got to go through, it's unfortunate. But someone said something about grief can sometimes be a blessing. God gives us grief, to know that we're human, that we loved.
I mean, it does say in the Bible, He gives beauty for ashes.
Yeah.
So, and it also says there is a time for laughter and there is a time for grief.
Yeah.
And so it's a natural thing that
we
we've
go
gotta
through. So here's the question. If your husband could whisper something to you right now, what do you think he'd say?
Oh,
I know
my
what I
goodness.
think he would say.
You know what Michael would say to you?
First thing that just popped in my mind.
Let's hear.
I'm proud of you.
Oh. Yeah.
I'm gonna cry.
Oh.
That's what I think he would say.
We're gonna leave it
With that.
With that. Yes.
Today I close, and before I do, I want to share something about hypnosis, hypnotherapy, that how it can be supportive if you're walking through grief. Hypnosis doesn't erase loss. Hypnotherapy doesn't erase loss. It can't and it shouldn't. What it does, it creates a quiet, safe space for the subconscious mind so it can rest. It can process and it can begin to integrate what the conscious mind cannot yet make sense of. In the earliest days of grief, therapy of any kind can feel impossible. The emotions are too raw, too heavy, and that's normal. But later, as the mind and body begin to find rhythm again, hypnosis and hypnotherapy and other psych work, if you will, can help you release guilt, the what-ifs, and reconnect someone with their inner peace and purpose. And it doesn't remove the love. It helps you carry it differently. Grief, in essence, is love. Just look for a new home. Just looking for a new home inside of you. We're going to be doing a part 2 to this, and it'll show a week later. And as it will be, we'll probably be wearing the same exact clothing. Okay? Just so you know. Anyway,
continuing right on.
This is Subconsciously Speaking. I'm Ilah Brock.
And I'm Vanessa.
And she's with Visalia Talks, so she's the gal that behind the Visalia Talks. Anyway, you take care, and until next time, just now that you've learned something, go help somebody.
Yeah, be kind to one another because you never know what someone could be going through.
Right. Oh yeah, please. And widows, let's put W's on our head. No. Take care.